Hey guys, Credible Crypto here. It is currently 8:33 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on Saturday, January 26th. I wanted to make this quick video update on what I'm seeing here. We got some price action development last night. I did post on Twitter about 3 a.m. saying I'd make a video update when I woke up, and I am now up. I will be going back to sleep after this update, but let me go ahead and make this update so we can update you guys on what I'm seeing here. From our last video update, guys, we were looking for a move. I was long from 35.30 and 35.40 where I got some bids filled, and we were looking for a move up above 36.20 to indicate further upside. Prior to that, when I made my last video 2 or 3 days ago, I had my stops under 34.06. Since then, I had raised my stops to right at $3,500. Actually prior to this wick. So this wick almost stopped me out, but it didn't quite get me. And then we saw the move to the upside. We broke above 36.20. However, we hit resistance at around 36.70 and immediately wicked right back down to 36.20, which was a very bearish sign. And so I'm going to go ahead and explain what I'm seeing now and what seems to be the most likely scenario and why this wasn't so apparent earlier. When I made a video 2 or 3 days ago. So 2 or 3 days ago, guys, the chart didn't look quite like this. It looked like this. We had this price action here. Many had been drawing this this wedge as a leading diagonal. I've been drawing this wedge as a leading diagonal. And the main reason why I wasn't fond of the leading diagonal at the time was because of the wave structure. So with a leading diagonal, the wave structure, so leading diagonal can take the place of an A wave in an ABC. I'm just going to write this down so you guys can see it while I'm doing the video, so I don't have to keep repeating it. So the leading diagonal can take the place of an A wave of an ABC correction, or it can take the place of a wave 1 of 5 of a impulsive move. All right, so this is where the leading diagonal comes into play in regards to Elliott wave, right? The second most important thing is a leading diagonal has a wave structure of 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. All right. Occasionally, it can also have a 5, 3, 5, 3, 5 wave structure. All right. That being said, the 3333 I believe is the most common, but it has been noted to spell check. Why aren't you working? All right, so it has been noted to occur as a 53535 in the past, although it's not quite as often as the 33333. Right. So this is what we know, right? So looking at what we have here. The reason why I didn't like the leading diagonal initially was because I could see a 3-wave move here to the downside, right? So coming off this local low, we have some sort of an A wave, some may call it, or it may be a complex W wave, right? Or like a WXY or something. But we had some sort of wave to the upside here, and then we got this move down. And this move down occurred in a clear 3 waves, 1, 2, 3, right? There's no doubt about that. So we already have a 3-wave move here to the downside, right? Then we got this move to the upside. This is most definitely not a 5-wave move to the upside. I see one wave, I see a consolidation, and then I see a second wave to the upside, right? So this is also some sort of a 3-wave move to the upside, all right? Then we got 1, 2, 3, 4, what looked to be a 5-wave move to the downside, all right? So this became a 5-wave move to the downside. And then we got another 3-wave move to the upside, A, B, C, right? So another 3-wave move to the upside, A, B, C. And then we got another 5-wave move, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-wave move to the downside. So the reason why I didn't like the idea of this being a leading diagonal was because our wave structure, we had a 3, 3, 5, 3, 5, right? That's not a 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, and it's not a 5, 3, 5, 3, 5. Now you could argue that this is a 5-wave move, even though it looks nothing like one at all. But if it was, then we'd have a 5, 3, 5, 3, 5, which works for our leading diagonal, and it would make it valid. But I didn't see this as a 5-wave move, and I don't see it looking like one at all. So the leading diagonal didn't make sense to me because the wave structure didn't fit at the time, right? However, with the current updated move in price that we just saw, we now have a very valid leading diagonal in my opinion, right? So we saw a strong wick. So if the top trend line is actually drawn from this wick over here, now we have an ABC. We have another 3-wave move, so that's 2 3-wave moves now. All right. And then we have, it's probably like that actually. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3. And notice how this 5 doesn't touch the bottom trend line, right? It kind of floats above it. And then we get 1, 2, 3, and then we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 again, right? So this actually looks like a 5, 3, 5, which is an ABC, which is another 3-wave move. And then we have an ABC, right? We have a strong wick off the bottom, we have consolidation, and then another move to the upside with a strong wick at the top. So then we get another 3-wave move here, an A, B, C, or WXY, or whatever it is, but the point is it's a 3-wave move, right? So now we have a 1, 2, 3, 4 3-wave moves, right? Which means we have a 3, 3, 3, 3, and it looks like we need one more 3 to make this a completed, valid leading diagonal, guys. So that is now what I'm looking at. This looks to be the most logical explanation for what we're seeing here, and I would expect one more 3-wave move to the downside to complete this leading diagonal and to complete our 5th wave of the leading diagonal before we see a pop, a bounce to the upside, right? So for this leading diagonal, guys, we should clear this wave 3 low here at 3,400. The 5th wave should clear that wave unless it truncates, which is very rare. And we also know that in the 5th wave of leading diagonals, or any type of diagonal for that matter, the 5th wave can either underthrow or overthrow this trend line here. So this 5th wave that should occur in a 3-wave move to the downside could either move past this bottom trend line or it could fall short of the bottom trend line, right? So my targets for this 5th wave down are still this green zone, you know, if we hold the trend line or don't break past it, which is going to be anywhere between 3,350 and 3,400. Or if we do happen to break past it, I can envision us going as low as this green box here, which is between 3,200 to 3,250. Now, I don't know if we have enough strength left in us to make a move down this far. However, it's something that's very possible, right? Now, after we complete this 5th wave of this leading diagonal, we should see a bounce to the upside. Now, as you guys have known, a lot of alts have been popping off lately, and a lot of alts look good to make a move to the upside. On top of that, if we look at RSI on Bitcoin, you know, especially, we see price making lower lows here, but RSI is making higher lows here. So RSI is also looking ready to make a push to the upside here for Bitcoin as well. So things are looking good for Bitcoin. It looks like the bears are running out of momentum here. It looks like the bulls are starting to take over, and we are on this last and final 5th wave to the downside of this leading diagonal. So I do believe that a real bounce is imminent, and this was not the actual real bounce. So guys, if you have been following me on Twitter, you know that I had moved my stop loss up to 3,500, and earlier this morning at around 3 a.m., I adjusted those stop loss to be in profit because I saw this giant wick. And I'm now stopped out of my longs at 35.70, so longed from 35.30, stopped out at 35.70 in profit, and I flipped short with a small position at 35.70, and so I'm now short, looking to cover those shorts in the 3,400s, and then looking to long between 3,350 to 3,400 with additional bids set between 3,200, 3,250. Right? So currently I'm looking to long the two green boxes here. I'm currently short, planning to cover my shorts early in this first green box, and then looking to long this green box and the second green box for a bounce to the upside. Now, we know this is a leading diagonal. We know that a leading diagonal can take the place of an A wave, of an ABC correction, or it can take the place of a wave 1, of a 5 of an impulsive move. So that can mean two things. The first could be that this is going to be our A, we're going to get a B, and then we're going to get a C, something like that. And then we'll make another leg that's about this length to the upside, right? So that would take us a very, very rough estimate. We'll calculate targets later. Back up to the 4,000s, possibly. It can go higher than that as well. Or if this is not an ABC, but it is in fact a 1, a leading 1 of a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that is the more bearish scenario. And in that case, once we get our bounce here, the bounce will actually just be a wave 2 before a much larger and much stronger wave 3 to the downside. So let me make this chart a little bit bigger. And let's go over here. So if this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then we'll get a pop-up for our wave 2. And then we'll get a much stronger wave 3 to the downside. And then we'll get a 4 and then a 5. And this will likely be the capitulation that we're looking for, right? So this is where I think we'll get our low for the bear market. And then I believe we'll obviously move sideways for a period of time. And I believe it can be quite a long period of time. I'll touch up on that in another video before we make another massive move to the upside and start the next bull run, which can be quite a ways out at this point in time. Now, arguments for this, additional to this, is if you can see, look at the volume. It's been declining on this spike to the upside. Volume didn't spike up either, which we would have liked to have seen if we were to continue up, and we didn't get it. We're seeing a nice wick on the daily now for the current candle. It looks very, very bearish. So I think this is a very viable scenario, and I like the way it looks, and I'm very confident that this is what we're going to see play out at this point in time based on updated price action and what I'm seeing here, guys. So again, that's what I'm looking to do now. You guys know where I'm looking along. You guys know the invalidation point for this scenario. Once we long from this level, I look to cut my longs on the bounce, take profits, and then look to short for the C wave or the wave 3. And once my longs fill, I'll make another video updating you guys on targets to the upside, as well as what we plan on doing at that point once we get there. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope it was easy to understand. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. And again, if you like this video, please like and subscribe on YouTube and follow me on Twitter for more regular updates. All right, thanks guys.